Hello, welcome to class. So in this class today, I'm going to be showing us how this design was done, and after that, I'm going to also be showing us how we created this very one I'm going to be showing you now. Okay, we actually had the final result of that design to be this very one here. Okay, so I'm going to show you this now. Yeah, this is actually the final design that we have here. All right. Okay, just as you can see it here, this is actually the final design. Okay, so let's jump right into the training. Okay, I'm going to just go back to the home screen and let's start creating the file. So first thing first is to create a custom size file. I'm using the 5 by 5 inches, and we have a blank space just like we have on the screen there. Okay, the part of the first things I want to design is the logo. Okay, and I just typed the text and use the text as executes. Okay, maintain everything in small letter. Yes, exquisite. Okay, so next thing I want to set up is the font. For the font I'm using for this, I'm using Angelina, so just search for Angelina. All right, that's it there. So just tap on that, click on done. So we have that there. Okay, the next thing we have on the logo is an element, and the element I'm using in this case is actually a line. All right, so let's look for oval shape first. Oval line. All right, this is actually the line I'm using for that, so this is very oval line. So I'm going to just adjust it that way and then put it back in the center there. So you actually need to zoom in so you see everything clearly, so you don't have to get confused while trying to set this up. So I want to just adjust this way a little bit. Okay, I think I prefer it straight, so I'm gonna just arrange it that way. All right, a bit up. Okay, the next thing I want to do is to go ahead and let's reduce this a little bit and reposition it again. Okay, so we want to make this black so it maintains same color with this. So I'm going to just group them together. So go to more, tap on select multiple, and then select the two. Okay, I'm going to select on this one, select this one first because it's at the top, at the bottom. Then I select this one, and I click on the group icon to group both of them. That is one. Secondly, I actually want to work on an image. I have this very image here. All right, you can download that from this very app, or you actually get their site online, Pinterest. So to get that from Pinterest, all you need to do is to search for Nike. Okay, Nike, Nike wallpaper, Nike shoes, or whatever. Now another option I'm going to be showing you on how to get different images, any image at all that you need, is this. Okay, first things first is to go ahead and screenshot the very image you need. So in this case, I'm going to screenshot this very one. Okay, I'm going to screenshot this. Now when you screenshot the image, get the image in your gallery and just look at that very image in your gallery. Make sure it's actually arranged well enough to enable you search for it online. Okay, so you just need this alone, so I'm going to just click on done. So next thing I'm going to go to is to Google, and I'm going to go to google.com. Click on a new tab, google.com. Okay, now you wouldn't actually see anything here when I switch to images, this is actually Google Images. You should be able to search for images right here, but before you start searching, you can see you can only type in text here. We need to be able to upload that image to Google here. If you're doing this on a system, you should be able to see this, but since this is a mobile design class, you should be able to also access this, but in a different way. If you're using Chrome or any other browser that allows you to switch to desktop view, all you need to do is to click on this three dots here and then scroll down to where you see request desktop site. Once you click on that, it will load up this way. All you need to do now is to click on this very upload icon and then click on upload image, choose file, and then locate the very image you are looking for. So click on choose. You see different suggestions of where you can locate that kind of image or something similar. All right, so yes, so we can see some of them here. All right, so let's go to see, do we have anyone exactly like that? Okay, so you see similar images. Okay, brings you to the images section where you can see different images that are similar. If you also get an exact image of that, you would see that here. Okay, these are actually various pictures, and some of them are on Pinterest, some are not on Pinterest, on different other platforms. So you see similar images here like that. Okay, in most cases you actually see the exact image. Okay, let's see this very page. Okay, with just that very one, look again, I'm going to take you back. All right, you can see pages that include matching images. You can see all these ones. These are Pinterest links. The first set of images we saw are similar images, and we actually use this for logo search to make sure that the logo you're using is not existing. You can also do this kind of search to make sure that that is not existing. So you can see different places you can locate this. All of them are Pinterest links, so just click on any of them to take you to the image itself. All you need to do now is to save that image, or rather download it. If you save, it saves to your Pinterest account. Okay, but when you click on download, the three button here at the top here, okay, top right, then click on download image. It downloads the image right into your device. You know how to remove background from here, so I'm not going to be teaching about that. Just go through the previous class on how to remove image background, and then go ahead to remove the background. Once you remove the background, jump right into Canva, and we're going to be using the version without a background. So I already have that here, so I'm going to expand that this way. Don't forget this is already grouped, so we can always reposition this anytime. Okay, so I'm going to have that image as big as this, crop down the excesses I don't want to use. All right, reposition it where I want it to be. The next thing I want to do on this image is to make some adjustments. Just a little contrast, as small as around 15. All right, and then do some clarity settings there to get the clarity to be high. All right, I'm going to take it right up to 100, and then I'm going to reduce, just add a little brightness as high as up to 15. Okay, and I have that there. All right, so the next thing we want to do is to start creating other fields for the design. I want to bring in the elements. I'm going to cancel this out. I want to bring in the rectangular elements, so be able to use that here for the base or the background there. Okay, and then the next thing I want to do is to send this behind. All right, send this back, and I want to pick a color here, but I want to be picking the color from the body of the model. So click on this plus, there is pen icon there, and then I'm going to tap on that part of the body, and then click on done. You can see how it swiftly picked that very color for me, and that is just one. The next things I need to do is to put up the write-ups I need to have there, and then the images possibly, and we should be done with that. Okay, in the very design I showed us, actually I didn't have any caption there, but in the very one I'm going to be using for the example now, I'm going to be putting up a little caption, and then yeah, just have it there. Okay, so we'll be able to have more relatable stuff. Your design should not just be fine, but should be able to send a message. All right. Okay, so let's go back to our design. So I'm going to add a little caption here, texts. Okay, instead of using a text, I think I'm going to be using, let me look for any text effect or whatever that has been arranged already before. You have different options to use, either using this, okay, I can use something like this and then change the write-up, but that's actually a pro text. This is also another good one. You can also use this. Okay, but this kind of design, I actually prefer to use something corporate, so I'm going to be doing away with this. And let's go ahead and create the direct text. I'm going to write sell your needs. And I'm going to capitalize that and just do some other little adjustments. Okay, so I'm going to just make a little more adjustments on this. Work on the spacing rather, reduce the line spacing, reduce the character spacing just a little bit, and then let's change the font. For this design we're using Montserrat, so Montserrat is the main. I'm going to be using classic for that text. I think I want to maintain it to be without capital letters, so let's just switch it back and see how that looks. So go back to format and then buff this up a bit, reduce the space, increase the spacing a little bit, and then we want to reposition this guy a bit out of the view. Okay, so I'm going to capitalize everything just like this. We sell okay, so we can actually go a little extra mile to make some part bold and the other parts not bold. Okay, so just play around it. Okay, I think I want to change this to buy your ears. Okay, and we want to maintain this not to be bold, so I'm going to take off the boldness on this. Yeah, you can just play around it in your own way and get something more better. For me, I think this is a bit manageable, so that's a little fix to the design, so we have something a bit more classy. I'm gonna zoom in this, paste that. I want this to remain bold. then I want this to be capitalized, not spacing, please. Format. Okay, so coming to the color part, so I'm going to just switch this up to the same colors, the colors on the image. So I'm going to pick red in this case, and then for this very one I'm going to pick the other color. You can also play around that. Yeah, it's also not a crime to use black for that all through. Let's try capitalizing this too. I think capitalizing both makes more sense. Okay, so you can go ahead and put up the other texts and other images. So I'm going to just group this together so we have them together and always work with them together. Select multiple, select this one, and send them backward, group them together, and we are good to go. You can always resize this together now. Alright, so the next things we want to put up are the images we have, and then the social media icons we have here with their handles. So firstly, I want to bring in the social media icon. So firstly, I'm going to search for Instagram. So once I get Instagram icon, this very one is preferable. I'm going to reduce the size quite a lot and then bring it down here. Always zoom in to see what you're doing clearly, so you don't have to do a work that's not very clear. Now, you notice one thing, I'm trying as much as possible to position it at the center and we have enough spacing and not actually go out of the boundaries we have here. So I change that to white color. The next thing I want to put up is the text. So go to text and then put up the text. The brand name we're using is Exquisite. So put that up there, and let's change the font to Montserrat. We're going to be using the light Montserrat for this, and then change the color to white. Now there's something you noticed here, all right, in this very design here. You notice something here. Okay, let me bring the bold one so you can see this clearly. All right, the one without the style yet. Okay, so you notice a small line before the write-up here. Okay, so firstly I missed the @ symbol I wanted to have there. Okay, so to get that, you can always do that with this text. All right, on your keypad, locate this very text I'm going to show you now. Okay, this very line text, and that's all. Yeah, doing that with a line here on Canva is a nice idea, but that wouldn't give you the perfect line we need. It will give you something as bold, but we don't need a very bold line here. Okay, two options you have to this line now to make a very tangible one is to select the line, and when you're selecting Montserrat has variants, and you have thin, you have extra light and all that. So you can select the thin version, that way it will be slim. Okay, you have the line and it will be slim this way. So the next thing you want to do is to pick these two objects we have there on the screen. Okay, we're just going to send this back and again and again. Okay, I'm going to lock this because we don't want it to be moving around. Also, the image, we are done with it, we don't want it to be moving around, so we're going to lock that. So for all the parts that we are done with, we're going to lock them so we don't have to move them by mistake. So I'm going to lock them. Okay, this is actually how you work with a complex design this way. So firstly, I'm going to zoom in very well and then select this one, When I select that, click on more, select multiple. I want to select this alongside, and then I want this to be grouped. So once it's grouped, I can go ahead, close it up, and duplicate this. All right, this duplicate is what I'm going to be using around here. But meanwhile, I want to maintain this very one around here too. And then let's reduce, let's move around the icon a bit and reposition this one. Okay, so we want to get another icon that we'll be using here for phone number. So I'm going to put up the phone number first of all. Use 0810-543-8331 that way. Okay, so this is how I position the phone number, and yes, we have that there. You can always ungroup them to place them well, arrange it how you want it exactly, and so on and so forth. So but meanwhile, we have this to be bold, so make this bold, not just the Fox bold here. We actually changed the font to the very bold version of Montserrat. Okay, you see Montserrat Classic, and we also made it bold. That way it became as bold as we had in the design. Okay, so part of what I want to do here is to reduce this a little bit so it doesn't create more distraction for us, and then adjust this too. We want to create a space for the icon, the phone number icon. We don't want it to be distracting, so just make those little adjustments, and then let's search for the phone number icon. Meanwhile, before searching, make sure you're searching on the right section. Go to elements and then search for phone. Okay, you see quite a lot of phone icons there. All right, the very one we need, we used for the design, you will see that also there. Okay, the very one you will use, the should be somewhere above here. Oh, it's not that one. Let's go down a bit. Okay, so you actually see quite a lot of variations there, so you can pick from all the variations you have there. The one we use is a bit solid, and okay, let me search for phone icon precisely. Okay, good, that's actually what I searched for. So this is the one we used, and I'm going to reduce that well, and then we'll bring it down to the section where it's supposed to be. Okay, let's just ignore the balance for now. When we group them together, we are going to do those adjustments. So firstly, switch the color to white, and go ahead now to select. I'm going to select this first because it's actually the hardest to select amongst this because it's tiny. Don't forget to zoom in. I'm going to select multiple now, and then do that. Okay, so once they're selected, I'll go ahead and group. So since they are groups now, it's easy for me to move them as a group, and I also want to group these ones, so position them rightly that way, and then go ahead and group. Select multiple, group them, so this way we can comfortably adjust them. All right, so let's say I want to position them this way together, and we also want to reduce their sizes a bit. We want the uniform resizing, so I'm going to select both of them, group it together, and now I can comfortably adjust them together. So once I'm resizing, it's resizing for both of them. Okay, and that's how we got a very simple arrangement that way. So make sure it's centered very well, and yeah, so once you have every other thing set up, you can go ahead and start doing your other designs. Okay, we actually have this way in here, and we have this one this way. Okay, what other things do we need to put up? We need to put up the frames. So come back here and search for frames. Search for frame and you see quite a lot of frames here. Right, the one I need is the normal rectangular frame. Okay, so you can see this very one here. This is what I want to use. So adjust the frame to the size I want. The next thing is to add a shape. I actually want a shape here, so to be the base of the design. So I'm gonna add that shape right there. So the next thing I want to have in this is a text. So we'll have an image here, we'll have the shape holding the image, and then we'll have a text directly under it. But for the color of this shape, I want to use something a bit different. The lighter version of this very color here is what I want to use. Just click on done. This is actually quite light, so I'm going to switch a bit to that. So this is better. You can check for the color code I'm using here and then just copy same thing. Okay, so once I have that, the next thing I want to put up is the text. So I'm going to just type anything I want to put there. Let me see, caps. Alright, and then start uploading the images I have for them. Alright, so just check on Pinterest and get quite a whole lot of interesting images. Once you see this very first image, you can see similar images around there. Alright, that you can always download with same strategy. Pick any of the ones you have there and then go ahead to use them to create the frames. So I'm going to maintain a simple font for same thing. You notice we're still using Montserrat. Go back to the simple Montserrat version we have there, and then put your right up there. Make sure this is centered well, right to the box. Alright, so once we have that centered, we want to group everything now. So I'm going to click on select multiple and then select everything and click on group. Now it is grouped together. So all I need to do is tap on the option, the selection, the object there, and then click on replace. When I click on replace, I can pick any image of my choice to replace that. So you can see how it's positioned. I can double tap on this to open it up this way, and then I resize gently. Make sure you are not dragging it into this, because if you drag it into that section, it will automatically assume that you're done resizing and then it will stop. So just put that there. You want to duplicate this now and create other ones. I'm going to just create a duplicate of this quickly that way. Duplicate it again and reposition here and create another duplicate. Now why am I doing this first before going ahead to fix other images? Because I actually want to have them properly arranged first before we go ahead with other things. Don't forget this is locked, so for you to adjust it, you need to unlock it first. So I'm going to just reposition that gently there. Take these ones up a bit, just some steps up, so you can have some space at the bottom here. Don't forget to always zoom in so you see what you're doing clearly. Alright, I think I prefer it being here. Alright, so we have this positioned well. The next thing I want to do is to just go ahead and replace every other image you have there. Alright, I'm going to still pick this same image and use it here in this case. Double tap on that. And then go ahead and resize and show just the shoe. Alright. Sneakers. Let's say shoes. Okay, now that is actually not very cool. Alright, the image, the text wasn't giving enough boundary, so I'm going to just increase the boundary to be as large as this for this one, and I'm going to group everything again, select everything there and group them again. Also, you don't select something else. Once everything is selected, you go ahead and group it, and that is that. So you can do same thing for every other one here. All right. Okay. Oh, sorry, I undid the selection I just made now. So I'm going to select this container first, and then click on more, select multiple, and then select everything. Group. Once I group, I come up from here, else it will be selecting more. All right, so let's switch this one to, I'm going to pick any other random image. Do you have any other one? Okay, I'm going to still use same image, but this time around I'm going to show just trousers and name it don't forget to avoid this kind of issue I'm having here now. Just make sure you are extending the text boundary first before you go ahead to do any other thing. Okay, the text boundary is expanded that way. Okay, and then you go ahead to select starting from the shape, and then click on more, select multiple, and select everything, then group. Okay, so yeah, for the last one I'm going to replace that. Do I have previous images here? Yeah, I think I can use this guy now. It's here. All right, so that's all for the design, and we're apparently done at this point. I'm going to select everything in this section now and have them together, so I can always work with them as a group. So whenever I want to work on this, I can always resize together as a group, reposition it together, and do anything to them as a group. So that's the advantage of having this as a group there. So I can unlock this, reposition, and do any other extra thing you want to do there. Okay, so that is that with this image play. Okay, one other extra thing you will notice in this very design we have here is that we have some of this little background touch here. And firstly, we actually don't have this background to be plain white. Okay, we have the background to be somehow this very color here on her face. So actually pick the color from her face. So click on the background, go select the color picker, and then pick that color on her face there. All right, once that color is picked, I'm going to reduce it down a bit. So just go down a bit, go down a bit that way. Okay, so that is more like it. All right, so that's more like it. You can copy the color code and use for yours as well. All right, so with that done, let me just make a little adjustment on this one too. All right, just close up the spacing we have here, and then yeah, move it back together. All right, okay, so you can put up any other content you want to put up around there. I actually want this to be a bit enlarged more, so I'm going to just select that and enlarge it a bit more, so you can actually see this very clear. I'll group this, and yeah, I think I'm okay with this. It's this way. So once that is done, yeah, the next thing I want to go ahead and do is to put up that effect now. And I told you to search for something. I told you to search for abstracts. Okay, not in upload, please. Make sure you're searching in the right section. Elements, search for abstract shape. You see different abstract shapes here. This is the very one we need, so just pick that one. Firstly, I'm going to place it somewhere around here and send it to the back. Okay, and then I'm going to choose this color for it. And the next thing I'm going to do to it to give it that very feel it has there in the design is to reduce the transparency down to say 30. It's okay. Then I'm going to create a duplicate of that. I'm bring it here. But this time around I'm going to rotate this a bit to give me this feel here. So yeah, it's as simple as that. You can reduce the transparency mode to say 20, and that you have there. You can go ahead and save this now, and we'll go ahead to go over to Picsart to utilize this design to add some effects on this to make it even more wonderful. I hope you're enjoying the class. Okay, so let's go over to Picsart. If you've not downloaded Picsart, you can get that on Play Store and App Store. Okay, this is actually what you should be expecting after we're done. So I'm going to just cancel this one out, don't save, and I'm going to click on proceed. If you're actually new in Picsart, you should be able to see this kind of interface. All right, but firstly you will see where to create an account. Okay, if you're new, you should be seeing it this way, exactly like this. All right, you need to create an account. If you create an account, you'll be able to utilize the features this way. All right, you'll see quite some pop-up ads telling you to subscribe. Just ignore that, just cancel that out, and then I'm going to click on plus icon to create. In your own, you wouldn't be seeing these images there. Right, in photos section you should be able to see every other thing here. So all you need to do is click on where you have add more photos and videos from your gallery. Just click on the proceed button there, and then pick the image you want to use. In this case I want to use this very image. You click on done. All right, and then I'll click on the image. It would automatically bring the image here, and then bring up this pop-up again. I'm going to just cancel that out, and then let's work. There are quite a lot of features here. Just test them out later and see what you can do with them. For this class, all we want here is to actually use the max feature. All right, and in the max feature there are quite a lot of them. Dust is one of them. You can test out the different types of dust you have here. All right, you can touch that this way and touch the other one, and also on and so forth. You see their different effects and how they affect your design. Some of them are clearly not very pronounced. This is actually one of the grunge effects that appears linear, has kind of line view. You can always switch it up, flip it whichever way you want. Okay, all right, now these stuffs here at the top are the blending options, or rather the blending modes, sorry. All right, there are different blending modes you have here. You can always play around them to see what you can get with them. All right, so yeah, there are quite a lot of them here. Okay, there are quite a lot of them. I'm going to be using the dust 2. Okay, and I'm going to click on it and then flip it around to have it to come somewhere around here. All right, to flip this very line to come somewhere around this guy's head, and then I'm going to reduce the opacity just a little bit, maybe down to 80, and apply that. Once I apply that, I can come back and apply same effect or even a different one. So I'm going to just apply same one now in this direction, and then tap on that again to edit it. I'm going to flip it once to bring it to this section. All right, and then turn it down a little bit more, maybe to 80, because I just don't want it to be too pronounced on the design. Yes, I have some scratches, or even on this lady's face here where you have hair. Okay, if you like that, you can go ahead with it, but if you don't like that, you can do some edits. All right, do some cleanups when you're actually doing that. So let's cut that. If I reverse it, you can see that goes out. If I take it back to that point and apply this effect, and I don't want this to be applicable there, all I need to do is to click on the eraser there at the top and then erase the part I don't want it to be effective on. All right, just erase that part that way and it will go. Okay, you can see the one on the lady's face is actually from the first one, so you can always reverse to that point or go ahead with it. I'm going to just go ahead and cancel this part out, this cut, and apply the effect this way we had it before. All right, and then the last mask I want to apply is the ripple. Okay, if you come to ripple, there are quite a lot of them. You see ripple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, The sixth one is actually the one I'm using for this very design. Okay, you can always tone them down or switch different blending options to see how they look for this. All right, so screen is still the best for now because we're actually having dark effects. Okay, if you have a bright effect, you might want to try out overlay or multiply to see the difference between them. Sorry, darken or multiply to see the difference between them. Okay, so I'm going to be using this same ripple here. All right, there's another one that looks like we have nylon wrapping on top of them that way. There are a whole lot of them there, and they are quite interesting. They're all interesting. They are all interesting. So you just play around them and pick the one that best suits you. Yeah, so I'm going to just choose that same ripple 6, and then before applying them, I'm going to erase out some parts. You can see it's actually disturbing the right up here, so I'm going to erase that part. Here you have your social media handle. I don't want it to disturb it. It's disturbing the image we have here, so I don't want it to disturb that. Disturbing our right up a bit, so just don't want it to overshadow our right up, nor the logo, nor this lady's face, or even this guy's face. Okay, so we don't also want it to overshadow what we have here in this very case. Just leave it a little bit somewhere there, just a touch here and there. Okay, and once we have that, you can also go ahead and tone down the opacity so it's there but it's not overshadowing the design. Okay, I'm going to go with 70 and apply that. Okay, so that's how you can play around with this to actually get quite a lot. And once you're done, you can click on the save button there, and you would be mandated to save. Now if you choose any of the 3 options for save as JPG, okay, you would actually be needing to upgrade. Okay, you'll be needing to actually subscribe. Okay, but you don't want to do that for now. I wouldn't even encourage you to do that immediately because you're still learning. So to save in a simple way, all you need to do is, when you click on that, click on, for those of you using iPhone, click on this option of sharing. You'll see where you have save image. For those who are not using iPhone, you can just click on option of WhatsApp and send it right to yourself. Once you send it to yourself, you'll be able to get it. All right, so that is just that. Or send it to anybody on your contact list that you feel maybe your close friend you want to be using, or just send it out straight to your status or to anybody who you want to do design for. And that is just that with the design, and with that, it's also saved to your device. See you in the next class. I hope you enjoyed this class. Please give us a review on the Telegram channel. But meanwhile, I believe you must have tried this out before watching this video. If you have not tried this out before watching the video, I would encourage you to also take some time on your own to actually practice, because practice is what makes perfect. You are expected to try out more examples, try out more things. Just practice, and I expect to see you doing quite more well. See you in the next class.